What's going on, guys? It's Greg here, aka NYPrepper. In this video I'm going to show you guys some nuclear war bunkers and the Lenin Steelworks in Krakow, Poland. So stay tuned. So this is the town or city of Nowa Huta in Krakow, Poland, and what you're looking at here is the old Lenin Square. Now it's called Ronald Reagan Square, or Plac Reagana. There used to be a statue of Lenin right there in that open area right there during the communist times, and they tore down that statue after communism fell, and now it's called Ronald Reagan Square. But this whole city or town, whatever, it's all built with communist socialist architecture. You can actually see the buildings down there. They're all built with socialist communist architecture, and this whole city was built by Stalin right after World War II, when Stalin took over Poland, basically, when Poland was divided up after World War II, and Poland became part of the USSR satellites, the Eastern Bloc. He built this huge steel mill over here in Nowa Huta, and next to the steel mill there was this city that they built with the communist architecture. So I'm gonna show you guys this city. We're gonna walk around together, and then also there's actually nuclear war bunkers right underneath my feet here. They built over 250 bunkers for the purposes of surviving nuclear war. And we're gonna go to a museum and we're gonna look at some of those bunkers together. And let me just show you guys something here. They have this monument here for the Solidarity movement. In case you guys are not aware of what the Solidarity movement was, that was the big anti-communist movement in Poland that actually caused the collapse of communism in Poland and also throughout the Eastern Bloc, and then eventually in Russia. Basically triggered the collapse of the USSR. It was the first big uprising right here in Poland. It all started in the Gdańsk shipyard in northern Poland on the Baltic Sea. A bunch of workers at the shipyard protested, and it got so bad that the communist leader declared martial law. But there it is. It was called Solidarność. But I'm going to show you guys Nowa Huta, show you guys the communist architecture everywhere, and I'll show you guys the nuclear war bunkers. So stay tuned. And I forgot to mention that Stalin built this big steel mill here, the Lenin Steelworks, sort of as like punishment to Poland. He basically built this big industrial area right outside of Poland's most beautiful historic city, Kraków, sort of as like punishment. So, you know, we're just a couple miles away from downtown Krakow, and when that steel mill was running, the whole downtown area of Krakow was smelly and dirty from all the soot. So he kind of did that as like punishment, or to show dominance over Poland, you know, by putting this big steel mill and this socialist communist city right next to Poland's most historic city, literally 1,000 years old, to show his dominance over Poland. So this is the museum here where the bunkers are. Looks kind of junky. It's like an old communist building that they turned into a museum, basically. It's actually really nice in there. All right, guys, so here are the bunkers. Over 250 bunkers here in Nowa Huta. Check it out. This is the borders of Poland before World War II and after World War II. You can see the Polish borders went all the way into central Belarus, almost to Minsk. You see Minsk right there? And they went all the way down to Western Ukraine. So Poland's borders today are much further west than they historically were for hundreds of years. But here's the entrance to one of the bunkers. Over 250 bunkers here, but they just recently started fixing them up for tourists, starting in 2015, and then they opened them in 2019. So there's only a few of them that are open, but there's over 250 that are in this city that are not available for touring. Going down into the bunkers, guys. Check it out. Some kind of door here. Interesting door. Yeah, here's the entrance to one of the bunkers here. Check it out. Feel like I'm playing GoldenEye or something here. It's a map of all the bunkers. Well, I gotta duck my head under here. Some kind of door. Look at this metal door here. Look at these old rusty hinges. We're going in the bunker now. Look at this. Feels like I'm in GoldenEye or something. Looks like pollen filter. Interesting. Wow, it's crazy. It's like blue tiles on the walls. Look at this heavy metal door here. Look at this metal door, real thick. Here's my hand for comparison. Wow. Guess they had radiators here. It says that they warmed up or cooled down. Sprinkler system humidified the air. Wow. Interesting. So they had a really sophisticated climate control system here. Wow. So the Polish army was actually under control of the Soviet army during the communist times. They sent Russian generals to Poland, and Soviet forces were deployed in Poland, and there were actually nuclear weapons in Poland, missiles and warheads, and probably 100,000 or more Soviet or Russian troops. Poland was a frontline country against NATO. So Poland would have been a massive battlefield if the USSR went to war with NATO. So this is crazy. It says here that during peacetime they would have 350,000 soldiers, but up to 1 million prepared for war. That's just the Polish army. That's not including the Russian army and Soviet forces. So Poland had 1 million reserves in the 1950s. It says here 15% of Polish GDP in 1952 was spent on the army. In 1956, the Polish army owned 1,268 aircraft, 2,188 tanks and assault guns, 3,688 anti-air guns, 41 battleships, 25,000 cars. Absolutely crazy. It's a massive army that was built in the communist times. Here's a propaganda poster. Crazy. Absolutely insane. So this is all the gear for the Polish Army and Polish Civil Defense. Various types of chemical warfare testers to test for chemical warfare agents. Various types of masks and radiation detectors and dosimeters. Medical kits. Crazy times back then. Some kind of gear over here. Some kind of ventilator. Ventilators here. This is the protective suit Polish Army would wear if there were a nuclear war with NATO. Another glass door here. A lot of these little rooms everywhere. Got like a phone here, check this out. Goes up through bunker ceiling here. They have these instructional posters on how to take care of people they get injured. Wow, it's crazy. Got these original shelter blueprints. Look at this. It's showing here reservoir, water reservoir. It says 200 liters. I don't know what that means. 400 by 2100. That's probably like maybe 200 liters an hour flow rate or something. I'm trying to translate it for you guys. These are the original plans. Wow. Showing here a trench being built. Scary times. Floor plans for basement bomb shelters. It's showing here air flow. Wow. There's another telephone here. This is crazy. air defense shelters. Wow, they were really prepared for war. Much more than the US, I think. So here they have more shelter plans, and it talks about the criteria for building fallout shelters and air raid shelters. Had different criteria. It had to be like 2 floors, there had to be a basement. It says that they used like commercial buildings, restaurants, shops, schools even, theaters, cinemas. Basically every building was converted into a bomb shelter so people could run into the building closest to them and there would be some kind of a shelter nearby. That's what we need to do in the US. Basically every building had bomb shelters under it so people could go in there in case of a war with NATO. It's just so creepy. So creepy. Wow. Look at this. It's insane. Look at this door. Concrete. That door. Wow. Some kind of an air raid shelter. There's another room here. Looks like maybe water storage here. Gas masks. Civil defense stuff here. Showing US Air Force planes. Soviet missiles there. Showing the air raid sirens being pulled and people running into shelters. Some kind of a command center here. It's crazy. Signals for alarms here. So sophisticated, wow. I can't believe how sophisticated it was. They had special shelters for animals here. People were trained to round up animals so they wouldn't die from radiation and put them in these special barns with hay lining the walls and the doors to preserve the livestock. Wow. Just crazy. Types of masks here. SR1 gas mask, WA gas mask, universal gas mask, dedicated for the Polish People's Army, civil gas mask. So this was the civilian one, military one, and I think also military, but this one had a communication chamber so you could actually speak through it. And then this was for people that had head injuries. Some kind of radio system here. Telephones. Wow. Field switchboard. Low voltage field switchboard, capable of cooperating with magnetotelephones of the local battery system. Here's the telephone. MB66 field telephone. Wow. Some kind of a paper log book there. There's a coat hanger here. Wow. There's another room here. Wow. Look at these pipes, probably for water. Shovels. Look at this little passageway. Looks like an emergency exit. Exit enabling the escape from the shelter in the event of destructed upper floors of the building and obstructed main entrances, constructed as an underground tunnel turning by the building's walls, ended with a vertical exit shaft with clamps leading out of the area subject to obstructions. So there's the plans for it. This is the emergency exit. This is how you would escape if the upper floors collapsed from the blast wave or whatever. It's insane. Some like cabling here. This is crazy. Looks like some kind of electrical conduits here. It's like a circuit box, circuit breaker. Wow, this is crazy. Very extensive. Some kind of mechanical room in here. Wow. Yeah, this is like being in a video game, GoldenEye or something, or Call of Duty. It's just insane. Some kind of room here. Drain tile over there. Radiation dosimeters. Personal chemical protection packet. Chemical warfare agents. And dosimeters. So I'm assuming the colorimeter changes color based on the level of radiation accumulated, and the darker the color, the more radiation accumulated. That's what it looks like to me. You can see the numbers there. Shown here an entrance to one of the bunkers here under a hospital. It's crazy. Wow. Compasses here. Look at this. These compasses. It's a Geiger counter, a radiation dosimeter. Radiation dosimeter. They even have like a longer stick here. Check that out. Wow. Shows how to use it here. So that's how they used it. Wow. Beta gamma radiometer designed to detect and determine quantitatively the level of radioactive contamination of various equipment as well as food, water, clothes, and human body surface area after leaving the contaminated zone. The device could be used in a rainstorm since it's waterproof. It could be immersed to a depth of 20 centimeters. Wow, it's crazy. designed to determine gamma radiation dose rate from 0.1 to 300 roentgens per hour. Contamination indicator. So now we're heading out. Wow. It's crazy. So we're leaving the shelter now. That's Nowa Huta. This is the Lenin Square right there. And that's the socialist utopian city. I have some pictures here from when they first found these. What they look like. It's pretty amazing that everything is so intact. Look at this. Kind of switchboard here. It's crazy. Down there. Oh, we're heading out of the shelter. So this is the old Lenin Square right here. Take a walk around and show you guys the area. Plac Centralny Ronalda Reagana. Ronald Reagan Square. Used to be Lenin Square. So this is where they had a statue of Lenin. It's gone now. There's nothing there right now. Maybe they'll put a statue of Reagan here. But this is what it looks like. There's like these big fields over there. Giant fields. I'd like to see them put maybe a statue of Reagan or the Pope over here. Pope John Paul, that would be really cool. So not much here now, but there used to be a big statue of Lenin right here. And they call it Reagan Square. This is where the Lenin statue was. And it has that geometric design that the socialists and communists had in their city planning. You can see like perfect angles like here, and then over here it's all geometric, perfect angles, everything just like perfectly angled. It's supposed to be a utopian socialist city. So you can see some of the architecture. We'll walk down there and take a closer look, but very interesting. Not much here. So here's a map showing all the different stores here now these days. This is where the Lenin Square was. Now it's Ronald Reagan Square. And there's these big fields here, but you can see the way that the buildings were designed. Everything geometric. It's supposed to be a utopian city. So these are the old socialist, communist buildings. It's like a central square area here. It's like a little parking area. You can see how old everything is. Look at the moss on this concrete light post here. These buildings are really old. 1950s. Now there's just a bunch of Polish stores here, grocery stores. So looks like a coffee shop there. There's a restaurant here, Bar Mleczny. It's like home style food. It's just some apartment blocks here. Couldn't really tell that this was anything special unless you knew the history. It's changed so much, obviously, today. It's more of that communist architecture. The communists were big about central squares and open areas. Coffee shop here. All the chestnut trees are changing color. Check that out. Turning like a light brown. Got all these chestnuts on the ground. It's not something you'll see in the States. Chestnuts got killed off by the chestnut blight. Leaves are already turning here. Poland, winter comes fast. So these are all apartments now. The pharmacy here, Apteka. Kind of hard to tell that it was anything crazy over here now. Changed so much, but that's pretty much it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. And stay tuned for more footage from Poland. Take care, God bless, and don't forget the 3 P's. Prepare, practice, and persevere.